Hi there, Virgo. Welcome to your mid-August 2024 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. I'm going to pick an additional card just out of curiosity. Okay. Let's see here. The heart of the matter is the moon card. The moon card is connected to Pisces in the tarot. In astrology, the moon rules Cancer. So I would say either one of those signs. But this is an influence on the positive side of creativity and intuition. And the more challenging interpretation can be confusion, delusion, so lying to yourself about something. Someone who is perhaps telling you half-truths. They tell you things that are a little bit truthy, but not necessarily 100%. You see the creature from the Black Lagoon down here, and it's like, I just noticed that yesterday because I've had this deck for a hot second, it's a little while, and I don't really pull it that often, the moon card, for some reason, and I just happened to notice that creature, and that's kind of like the shadow self, but also the negative entities, or the negative undercurrent of a situation that is being hidden by something. This could also be talking about a significant full moon. I do think that there is a significant full moon coming up actually in September with your opposite sign of Pisces. And this is a lunar eclipse. And so it is a very powerful, it's going to be in your 7th house of committed partnership, Virgo. So that might be when everything kind of comes out in the open, because full moons can bring out secrets and hidden agendas, and it's a whole thing. It can be very intense, but it can also be very cleansing. Sometimes people fast during the full moon because of that cleansing effect. So yeah, that could be like a turning point in a relationship, for instance. In the past position, we have the Three of Wands. This is a card of expansion, maybe feeling a little bit confined, as if you, or if this is another person, feels as if they're not fully being able to kind of, what do they call it? Not stretch your wings, whatever your wings, spread your wings. And sometimes this can even be maybe they move somewhere else where they feel a sense of expansion. This is a card of expansion. It could be for work or business, but just simply because the person feels that they're just in this very confined space. And this is kind of like the whole meaning of life, at least how I see it, that life is about growth experiences instead of just staying in that comfort zone and doing the same old. And yes, maybe feeling very safe, but not being, not feeling any kind of challenge to grow more and stretch your wings, expand yourself, things like that. And that, when you have a relationship like that, it can be very stagnant. Where I'm talking about a relationship where you're not helping them to grow and they're not helping you to grow. So that could be what has been going on. But with the moon card, it can be this feeling of maybe still lying to oneself and saying, uh, it's not so bad, because maybe in your life as a whole, you've been expanding. And then in your relationship, that's where you're very reluctant to change. The higher message is the Page of Pentacles. And this is a card of the student. That's one of the definitions. So, like I said, this is a spiritual, this is the spiritual message, is that we are students in life. And so when we are conscious about that, then we are consciously seeking out those learning experiences. And it is a learning curve. It is something that not everybody is aware of just automatically. Sometimes people have to go through a lot of suffering before they really embrace this idea that they have some say in what happens to them, that they're not just like, life isn't just happening to them. So when you embrace that concept, there's nothing that is wasted. There's no you don't say, oh wow, what a waste of time it was for me to be in that relationship for 10 years, because it really didn't lead me anywhere very positive. But there are some things that that relationship gave you that maybe you can't see right now, but they really matter. You know what's interesting? This might be on my, yeah, I think it's on my phone screen. There are all these lines on it, and I thought it was on the card. What crosses you is the Four of Wands. This is the card of the happy home. This is a card of marriage. And when it's in the challenge position, there can be something that is keeping the person from having this situation that maybe they want. And of course, you have to choose the right person to be able to have a happy home base. And that's like, I mean, you could live in a studio apartment and be blissfully content if you're with the right person. If you're with the wrong person, you can live in a beautiful mansion and be avoiding that person because you just don't like their energy. You don't like to be around them. So this may be something, again, since it's crossing the moon card, that it's showing that the person may be refusing to see the situation at hand, and they're kind of creating alternative narratives that really don't serve them when it comes to whatever issue is presenting itself at this time. I've been talking a lot about relationship issues, but if that's not relevant to you, the moon card can actually be about creativity and or spirituality. And if that's something that maybe has become very important to you at this time in life, like for instance, the Three of Wands, when you're in this expansive mode, it can be that you're transcending the typical desires in life. So the moon card can represent the spiritual, which is otherworldly, and even an artistic path can be like non-materialistic. And for a Virgo, this kind of I was going to say this is kind of a challenge because you're an earth sign and you tend to be concerned about practical matters. But for some reason, I always see Virgo as a minimalist, like a natural minimalist. Somebody who would be happy with a very simple life and not needing so much excess. So, like your version of a spiritual awakening might also involve paring down your possessions or living very simply in some way. Maybe like working less in an outer job and more on a passion project, or if you have a garden or something that you want to sustain yourself with in the future, doing something along those lines. So the reason I say that is because the Page of Pentacles can be embracing, learning new things that you have to learn. Because if you are going through some kind of like a shift in your mindset, then you have to also learn other ways of living. And that may go against, even if you have a supportive spouse, you might be going in opposite directions. And actually, what's coming in is a Three of Pentacles. And this scenario that I've just given you, you can be on the same page with a spouse if you are willing to join forces. And that's what this card represents, is teamwork. The same would apply in the workplace if there's anything, because I think like with the Moon card, I would say too, if you're in an office where, you share an office with other people, and you all of a sudden you start to feel these weird vibes, like something's going on behind the scenes. By being as cooperative as possible, you can kind of gauge whether or not others are willing to work with you, and whether or not that has anything to do with you personally, or if you were just sensing something that had nothing to do with you personally. Actually, the Three of Pentacles can be a good money card. So for people who are worried about, oh my gosh, I want to go into this other line of work. I feel like I've done everything I can in this line of work and I want to do something else, but you're worried about your finances. Well, that could be showing that that's not really anything to worry about too much. The outcome is the Knight of Pentacles, and this is like a much more adventurous type of vibe that you have adopted, and probably because, and again, this is another Wands, and Wands is connected to the fire element. Fire is expansive. That's why, you see a little flame and then all of a sudden it's like a roaring fire, because it's just, on the energetic level, the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, they tend to be full of enthusiasm. I'm a sun in Sag. Can't you tell the enthusiasm? But I have the moon in Virgo. Maybe that's it. But yeah, enthusiasm and, just excitement for creative endeavors. But this card is more like, to me, and actually this card does supposedly connect to Sagittarius, and the horse is a symbol of Sag. That sense of freedom, that sense of being non-committal, or not necessarily wanting to settle down. So if you are kind of like confused about a situation that is personal to you, in terms of like a marital situation or a potential relationship, the bottom line is that you may not be in a frame of mind yourself, Virgo, that you want to commit to something. So rather than looking at the other party and saying, wow, they don't want to do this or they don't want to do that, ask yourself if you want to do it, because you might be surprised to discover that you really don't want to do this thing yourself. And I would say too, if this is career related, which it might be for a lot of people, about this desire to experience more growth, you realize you have to take some risks. You can't just be very, overly cautious. So I picked an additional card for clarification. I got the Four of Swords, which is a card of taking a breather. So this can be, especially in the mental realm, but it can be physical recuperation. If you've been through a lot lately, stress-wise, it can be that, but it can also be something where you're reflecting. Maybe you're not like active on social media. You take a fast, you do a fast from social media to kind of get that out of your system. You're just basically tuning into yourself first and foremost. And by doing so, you're able to kind of get a grasp on, exactly what it is that you should be um, pursuing by reflecting on what has recently occurred. The Four of Swords can be that you've been through a lot physically and you are in that recovering mode, which is so important in life. So it's also, to me, because the number four is connected to Saturn, so it's about getting your mental house in order in terms of like really paying attention to what your needs are at this moment. Okay, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm primarily an astrologer, and I have a special package deal for a double full-length astrological reading. It's called my deep dive reading, which is an hour of natal chart analysis and an hour of transits for the next 12 months for a special price. And if you like astrology, but you also like the tarot, then I have that package plus a full-length tarot reading as a separate package called the Whole Enchilada, and that is a special price. And I sell those readings separately. And I've got love readings, career readings, and looking at your child's astrological chart. You can find out more information at the link below. Thanks for watching. Bye.